Good day, folks. Thanks for tuning in to Lake Highlights here at Lake TV. We are interviewing some prominent people here at the Lake of the Ozarks, and today I have Bob White. Thanks for coming, Bob.
Thanks, Mike.
Bob is the executive director of Scouts here at the lake and the 3 counties surrounding the lake, and we're going to find out what Scouts is all about today. Bob, I've known you for a short while, and I've always seen you at good places and good times to meet you. Tell us a little 1-minute biography of who Bob White is and something about your personal life.
Bob White is a gentleman that moved to the lake about 12 years ago. I've been coming down to this lake for over 50 years. I really enjoy this part of the world. I think it's a unique lifestyle. Bob is pleasantly married to a woman for 20 some odd years, Denise White, who's a teacher at Camdenton School System. I have a 18-year-old son who will be a senior this year at Camdenton. We chose to move down here when he started school. Been involved in several activities, from sporting events to got into Boy Scouts when he was in 1st grade, or Cub Scouts, excuse me. And I'm still involved with Scouts. I liked it so well that I went to work for the Scouts as a professional about 4 years ago. And like I said, just have a real love for the area and like what's down here.
So the lake is a good place to raise a family, you'd say?
Very good.
That's right. We know you're in Scouts, but what are some of the other things that you're involved in to make your life exciting?
Well, I'm involved in several different community organizations. I'm in the Ozark Coast Kiwanis Club here in Lake Ozark, and our one big event of the year is probably Christmas for Kids. We give out copious amounts of presents for kids that need it, and a couple years ago with Kiwanis, I started a program with another gentleman called Second Chance Bikes.
Yes.
We actually take in used bikes and we refurbish them, or if we can't use them, we take some parts off them and we sell the scrap metal and use that money to buy new bikes. Last year we gave away about 200 bikes. That included a trip to Joplin last year for the tornado victims down there. We took down 35 bikes and gave away to kids down there. But we give bikes to anybody that can show us a need for one. And we're always looking for bikes. So if anybody out there has a used bike that their kid's outgrown or whatever, give us a call. We'll come pick it up, or you can bring it to us. We like to do that.
Lots of garages full of bicycles, I think.
Well, that, and you get a lot of grandparents that buy bikes for their kids that come 2 or 3 times a year, that then they outgrow them, so they need a place to put them, and we have a good resource for getting them back into the community.
That's wonderful.
I'm also involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters. I'm on that board of directors, and I really enjoy working with that group and raising money and using that money for the needy kids in the area.
Lots of kids with lots of needs, and probably there's not enough people to do what needs to be done.
20% of the people down here do 80% of the giving, believe me.
So you're looking for possible candidates?
Always looking for big brothers to help us there. Anybody that wants to get involved to help us fundraise or do anything as far as kids are concerned.
Okay.
Okay.
Very fine. You've been in Scouts for 17 years or so, and in the last 5 years, how has scouting changed here at the lake?
Here at the lake, it's grown about 100%. When I started, we had about 280 kids in the 3 counties, and I think we had 15 units, and now we're up to 20 units, and we have over 500 kids in the programs.
And you could always use some more.
Always can use more kids. Any kid that needs it or would like to try it, be happy to help them get into it. If money's an issue, we've got programs to help them get shirts and books and all the things that they need for the program. The other thing that I would say, and I know there's a lot of people that were involved in Scouts in the other parts of the country that live down here now that are retired, or maybe just have an hour or 2 a week they'd like to donate. We're always looking for help. In merit badge counselors, in people to come speak for different what's the word I'm looking for?
Interest areas.
Interest areas that want to help the Scouts. Like I said, we're always looking for volunteers.
So it's not all about pounding tent stakes, is it?
No, not at all. You know that. You've been around it, Mike, long enough to understand that one.
Yeah. Where do you think scouting's going to be in 5 years? What do you see in your telescope?
For our area, and we're fortunate in that our council serves 33 counties in Missouri. We basically go from southern Camden County all the way to Iowa, 65 highway on the west to Illinois. And we have the only council camp in our backyard. It's over by Laurie, about 5 miles outside of Laurie. We have 480 acres. We've got 1.5 miles of shoreline. We can put up, I've seen as many as 600 scouts in camp at one time. It's just a really nice area for kids to come and experience the outdoors.
And Camp Hahn has a full-time resident director there or something?
Well, we have 2 people there now, and I don't mean to correct you, but we now are calling it Lake of the Ozarks Scout Reservation.
Okay.
Camp Hahn is still a part of that. That will be the Boy Scout side of things. Our plans as a council in the next 5 years, we will probably invest close to $4 million over there. We are going to build a Cub Scout specific camp. And that may not sound like a lot, but in most of the camps around the country in different councils, the Cub Scouts tend to get what's left over from the Boy Scouts. The Boy Scouts will build a new camp for the Boy Scouts, and the Cub Scouts will take over what's there and kind of make it work. This is going to be specifically designed for Cub Scouts. It's going to have their own camping areas. They'll have a small mess hall so that we can feed the Cub Scouts. It will have program areas designed just for the younger kids. There'll be a swimming pool. There'll be a nice new welcome center. We're putting in a large training/visitor center that will have a large amount of new bathroom facilities for leaders and for kids. We're putting in storm shelters for tornadoes, that kind of stuff. And then one of our big key things that we have that a lot of camps don't have is the waterfront. We have, like I said, 1.5 miles of shoreline, and we're planning on a bunch of new docks. We have sailboats now, and we'll put in docks for the sailboats. We'll put in fishing docks. We'll have swimming docks. We're one of 9 councils in the country that has a jet ski program.
Wow.
And we've had it for 3 years. This will be our third year of it, and it looks like it's going to stick. It's something that we're starting to do for the older scouts. You have to be 14, you have to have your boater's license, but we teach them jet ski safety, how to properly use them, run them, park them, and then they get to take them out and have fun on them. And that's something that not many people do. I mean, parents go buy jet skis, they may take their kids out 2 or 3 times and, show them how the controls work and then turn them loose. We spend time, there's a safety course they have to do, which entails going around buoys and how to make the thing handle, realize that there's no brakes and that, you have to stay a step or 2 ahead of how you drive a jet ski. It's been a very successful program, and we're looking forward to that being a much larger program.
Now you're grooming this camp to be a go-to camp for scouting units from not just Missouri, but from all over the area.
All over the country.
From Pennsylvania?
We have a troop that actually comes to our camp about every 3 to 4 years that is based out of Pennsylvania. They're actually out of Philadelphia. It's a city camp, a city troop. One of their scoutmasters has been coming here for 12 years. He is actually our aquatics director at camp. That's how much Vince really likes this area. But we have right now what we call out-of-council campers, which are troops from different councils. And I don't know the exact number, but I know that when we did our numbers last year, we had troops that came from 6 different states in the Midwest. That was one reason we made the name change, so that it was more recognizable as a destination, Lake of the Ozarks. Everybody's heard of that. So it's Lake of the Ozarks Scout Reservation to try to promote the name a little bit more. We have an extensive COPE course, which is Challenging Outdoor Personal Experience is what it stands for, but it's a high ropes course, it's a low ropes course, we have zip lines. It's a team building approach type event. You can come down and take a 3-day course with that. You can take a week-long course with it. It teaches the kids all kinds of different skills. We also have, like I said, the waterfront area. We've got fishing boats, canoes, sailboats, bass boats, jet skis. I think at last count we had about 90 vessels, as we call them, at camp. That does include the rowboats and the paddle boats and that kind of stuff, but We have a large amount of sailboats. We have a program we call Sailmasters. And if a troop from Kansas City, for instance, wants to come down and teach their kids the sailing merit badge, we've got instructors that will come out and take them out for the day and teach them all the ins and outs of sailboats. They can even go and stay on the sailboats if they'd like to.
And overnight?
Overnight on the sailboats, yeah. We do tubing, we do water skiing, we do wakeboarding. All of the fun things that we kind of take for granted living down here, we offer to those other outside kids.
So it's not just the rain gutter regattas?
No,
and
the rain gutter regattas and the Pinewood Derbies are still there, but like I said, there's a lot of other things, especially when you get into the older kids. One of the other new things, and we're only one of, I think it's 6 councils in the country this year, we're offering a pistols program for Boy Scouts. Again, it's an age-appropriate event that you have to be 14, but it's a trial deal. We're really excited about it, and next year we will offer shooting sports weekends. We offer climbing weekends now. We have sailing weekends we offer. But the shooting sports, we'll in probably the next 2 years, we're going to actually have a sporting clays course. We'll have a trap range and a skeet range out there. We're putting in a 150-yard shooting range because next year the Boy Scouts will allow scoped rifles. Right now our limits are 22 rifles and they shoot at 50 feet. But they're going to have a pilot program again next year for higher caliber. I think 223s is what they'll be shooting. So we'll have a new shooting range. We're putting in an action archery range, which gives you the different targets. It's a 10-station range where you start at one and you work your way down through the woods and you come back up, and different things to shoot at each range. And then we have our static range, which is just fixed targets. Mm-hmm. So we're really into things that kids like to do.
You have a bicycle program coming up?
We have a mountain bike program that we actually offered several years ago and it kind of went away. This year we're bringing it back. Another leader and myself went out and tuned all the bikes up. We have 14 mountain bikes out there, and like I said, with 480 acres we've got a lot of trails to ride. We do the basics of the merit badge at summer camp if the kid's interested. It's not an age requirement thing, anybody can do it. But we teach them bike safety and how to work on a bike, make sure that it's maintained well, and then teaching the do's and don'ts of the riding the trails.
And you have a bicycle rodeo coming up sometime soon?
We have an event coming up actually in Lake Ozark. It'll be at Columbia College in their parking lot in July on the 27th. And it's a bicycle safety rodeo. This is more designed for the younger kids, the Cub Scout age and the younger Boy Scouts. But they will be able to bring their bike. I have Lake of the Ozarks Police Department, Fire Department, Osage Beach Police Department and Fire Department, the Boy Scouts, and then Kiwanis Second Chance Bikes are all going to sponsor this. And we'll have a 7-station safety course for them to do. We're going to have a bike mechanic there, so if they bring their bike, we'll check it out for them, make sure it's adjusted properly, lubed, aired up the tires. We're going to let them do the safety course. There'll be a lot of free giveaways and door prizes. We're going to actually have a drawing for a brand new boys bike and a brand new girls bike.
Now that's not just for Scout members.
No, this is open for the public, yes.
That's what I want
the Scouts will be involved in helping put this on, and they're all invited to come. But no, this is an open to the public event, and then the last thing we'll do is feed them all lunch. So it starts at 9 o'clock in the morning, like I said, at Columbia College, and it'll go till noon. And you don't have to be there right at 9. You might want to stagger it, come at 10. The safety course itself will take about an hour. And we'll have Walgreens is going to be there. We're working with Hy-Vee right now to have a setup for them. Like I said, we're planning on serving everybody lunch. And there'll be a child safety seat inspection station that the fire department and the police department will be doing. They're going to bring equipment up and let the kids look at the equipment and climb around and play on it and try to teach them that. We'll have an ambulance there so that kids can see the inside of an ambulance without having to be taken away in it.
Right.
Take some of the scare out of that maybe. It's going to be a good event for the community, and like I said, it's open to anybody and everybody.
Well, what you have planned out for the Scouts sounds very exciting, and it's what scouting is all about. I've been in Scouts for over 60 years.
Yeah, I knew that.
62 years, I think. And it's more than just shooting arrows and riding in a boat, but Scouting does other things for character and leadership.
Tremendous.
And I think that's the appeal that parents would want to have for their child, because it teaches them getting along with others, teaches them leadership skills, responsibility, accountability. Scouts is, I think, one of the assets that most people don't recognize the value of when it comes to the child 20 years from then. Your Eagle Scouts are wonderful. Both my boys were in Eagle Path. We moved before they finished it and just didn't identify with another unit. But Scouts is still what it was when I was in Scouts.
One thing that amazes me about Scouts is I get parents that bring their kids to Scouts, and usually the first thing they start talking about is their experience in Scouts. Be it a good experience or a bad experience, people don't forget about Scouts. It's one of those things that lasts and lives with you for the rest of your life. I can't tell you how many kids that I've watched start the program in first grade that have completed their Eagles or not, or just stayed in the program until they turned 18 or went off to college. They don't forget that. And just the skills you learn to light a fire, or what to do if an emergency happens, or a fire, or anything, a wreck on the road. I read it a lot in a lot of the national publications and things that I get, being a professional scouter, that, you know, so-and-so helped his uncle live because he was having a heart attack and he knew how to do CPR. First aid skills is something that you'll always have. Learning how to light a fire, learning how to purify water. One of the benefits and highlights of my scouting career has been the ability to take what we call high adventure groups. The first one I went on, we took 32 boys and we went and hiked on the Appalachian Trail. We did 80 miles on the Appy Trail. They camped out every night. They carried their food. They carried their trash. They purified their own water. Things like that, you know, you can do that down here, but they had to do it. They had no choice.
This is a prime area for doing things that Scouts do.
Oh, I agree.
And I have a slogan I'd like to promote, and that is, don't send your kids to Scouts.
Okay.
Take them.
Take them.
Yeah, because we need the adults too.
We need the adult leaders, and you know, I can't tell you how many times I've thanked my lucky stars that of the quality time I've gotten to spend with my son. That was one of our conscious choices when we decided to move to the lake, was that we could raise our son down here. And just the ability to spend that time with him and to watch him grow and learn things and make friends. My son turns 18 this weekend, and he is still going out to camp and working on the camp staff because he likes it. Right. He got his Eagle last year, but he still wants to be involved. And he's told me, Dad, I'll do this the rest of my life. It's just a good thing to teach him, and he's not the only one.
Wasn't the flag out here by the Lake of the Ozark?
The flag out here the flag at the Lake of the Ozark entry sign was an Eagle project by Garrett Lynch, and Garrett Lynch is, I believe, a 10th grader this year. In fact, his final border review is next Monday night.
Good.
And I plan on being there.
Well, I hear that Scouts is promoting the religious aspect a little stronger, and I hear you have a new director of religious emblems too.
I would like to introduce you to Mr. Mike Courier. He is our district religious emblems coordinator, and I really appreciate you doing that for us, Mike. Right. We're trying to strengthen the bond between our chartering units, which several of them are churches, and the Scouts, and it's just an area we feel needs a little bit of attention.
Right. Well, Bob, we could go on for a long time, I'm sure, and visiting about all the good things with Scouts. So glad to have you on the program. And if anity wants to see about Scouts, they can contact you.
They can contact me, Bob White.
Phone number?
573-216-0005. And I return calls.
Right. And there will be a big push for promotion at the opening of school, too.
Yes, we'll be at all the back-to-school nights, and then we'll be doing boy talks the first couple weeks of school.
Thank you very much for viewing in, folks, today and listening to Bob White talk about the good things that Boy Scouts add to the quality of life at the lake. If you'd like to have your organization or somebody sit with us and talk about what's going on and how they contribute to the quality of life here at the lake, please give us a call. My name is Mike Courier. The email is crawling across the bottom of your screen, and we'd look forward to hearing from you. Have a great day.